Lesson 11.2, Scatter Plots. A scatter plot is the graph of a collection of ordered pairs. In example 1, we're going to make a scatter plot using the table shown. The table shows the height of a tree each year for 6 years. Make a scatter plot of the data. Just so you know, usually the top row is your x's and the bottom row is your y. And if you kind of think about it, what we were talking about with 11.1, independent and dependent, x is independent. Years are independent. I mean, every year is independent. It's just going to happen. So you have 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. What is dependent is the height, because the height of the tree depends upon what year it is. Obviously, if it's year 1, the height is going to be different than year 6. So that's how you can also tell if it's x or y. This table does make an ordered pair. You can see 1, 60, 2, 115. And that's what they put here, the ordered pairs. We're going to label the horizontal and vertical axis. I did give you that when I told you which one was x and y, because your horizontal axis is your x's, your vertical axis is your y's. So we label the graph, and you will have to make your own graphs for your practice problems, so make sure you understand how to do this. We put years on the horizontal and height on the vertical. We actually do want to write that in here too. Now we graph the ordered pairs. Remember, you always go left to right first. So we go 1 and then up 60. And I know there's not 60 here, but just go as close as you can. 2, 115. 3, 165. Now this is a scatter plot, so you're not connecting the dots. Do not connect the dots. 5, 250. 6, 285. Again, do not connect the dots. Go ahead for number 1 and 2, make a scatter plot of the data. Remember, usually the top is your x, the bottom row is your y, and that makes your ordered pair x, y. Please pause the video and try 1 and 2. This would be your A's, this would be your B's. We have 0, 0, which you got to be careful a little bit because 0, 0 is up here, so we have some negatives. 1, -2 is here, 2, -4, 3, -6. Number 2, this is your x's, this is your y's. Remember, these are ordered pairs. And if you can see that this is an ordered pair, you don't necessarily need to write it down. -4, -8, -2, -5, that's in between. 0, -2, 2, 1. Again, scatter plots do not connect the lines. That's a line graph. Let's interpret a scatter plot now. The table shows how the cost of a DVD player has changed. Obviously, the more it sits on the shelf, or the longer it's out, it's going to be less money. Just like iPods. When you first had the iPods came out, or even like the iPhone, it's always so expensive when it first comes out, but over the years, as it just sits on the shelf, the value decreases, and that's what's happening here. The months are your x's that it sits on the shelf, where the y is the price, which is actually probably going to decline. So we're going to make a scatter plot of the data. Let's do that now. I'll actually show you that. Now, they did not connect it, by the way. This is not connected. The only reason you see this line is just because of what they're going to ask you to interpret, okay? This is not connected. It's just that they're showing you the trend. So we made a scatter plot of the data. You can see that as the y coordinates decrease, so the price is decreasing as the number of months on the shelf is increasing. We call this relationship a negative relationship. See how it's kind of looking like it's going down, like it's declining? That's a negative relationship. We also have something called a positive relationship and no relationships. And we'll talk about those in a second. We always did these. You can kind of just get rid of those. But I also want you to estimate the price of the DVD player after 18 months. And that's kind of why they might have drawn this dotted line here. Because here's 18 months, so if these are the dots that I actually knew, the trend would say, I would say about $100. So after 18 months on the shelf, it might be about $100. That's estimating the price using the scatter plot. Before we end the video, I want to talk about the 3 different types of relationships in a scatter plot. And I touched on it a little bit. We have a positive relationship, a negative relationship, and no relationship. You might want to draw this somewhere just so you have the reference, because this is something that you'll need to know as you work through this lesson. Positive is going to go up. So my scatter plot looks like it's increasing from the bottom up. Negative kind of looks like it's going on a negative trend, like it's going from the top down. No means it's kind of all over the place. It doesn't look like it has any type of relationship. This is a no relationship. You can't really see if it's a negative or a positive. This is the end of the lesson.